we're right on at 11 o'clock. I'm so excited about this as well as a newbie to the Martian Logic platform. I'm seeing how this works
awesome.
and how much time it's going to be saving our clients. It's very exciting.
Awesome. All right, so let's get started. I'm joined today, guys, with Jasmine, who's an account manager looking after about 60 to 70 accounts. So you might have spoken with Jasmine before. By any means, you're welcome to reach out, even if you're not sure whether she's your account manager or not, and she will direct you and make sure your voice is heard with support, with myself, with whatever you need. Eddie in the background set up all the technical stuff for this to happen. Thank you, Eddie. And thank you guys, our clients, for turning up. This webinar is about you, and there's no webinar without you, so we appreciate your time. So as you know, the topic is about how you create a contract that is auto-generated contract, as opposed to you know, God forbid, you're still doing it. I know a few people still doing it, maybe 1% of our clients, just they haven't had the time to create the dynamic contract, which is why we're doing this. So some of our clients are still doing it outside the system. So they're still doing it the old-fashioned way, where they have the Word document template sitting somewhere. They go find in which folder I should use which contract, and then open that Word document and then go through all the yellow stuff highlighted by the lawyer and make sure these are the variables, you know, the name of the person, their address and the salary and the start date and the probation thing and blah, blah, blah. And then saving it as a PDF, download it as a PDF, and then uploading it in the onboarding module as a static document, and then sending it to the candidate, which is that we really appreciate people have got circumstances and why they're still doing that, of course. And if anything, I would probably blame ourselves why we haven't, reached out and made sure we help them. So really no criticism at all, more than if anything, it's empathy. But we don't want you to do that, clearly. And this is what this webinar is about. All that information should really, all those variables, as I mentioned, the name of the person and the address and the final offer information and the start date and blah, 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 all that should be pre-populating in the contract. And you should be doing very, very few changes. And those changes shouldn't be from a Word document where you've got always the risk of making major stuff up when you're editing a zoo of text and stuff, as opposed to just working with a bunch of just drop downs that you might need to change on that particular occasion. Just change a few options, a few drop downs, and that's it. It's on its way. Or accurately streamed the information as opposed to being copied and pasted and all that stuff. So this is what the topic's about. Let's get started. I'm logged on to the usual webinar account. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. Sorry, guys. Share. Where's that sharing in? Yeah. Okay, I think I've got it right. Is that working, guys? There, you can see the platform, the jobs page.
Yeah,
cool.
Perfect.
Perfect. I'm logged onto this fictitious account we maintain here for the webinar purposes. And I'm going to go into the machine operator junior because this is the role that we did in the last webinar. And this webinar, clearly, as you can appreciate, the series, every episode picks up or continues from the previous one. And that's exactly what we're going to do. In the previous webinar that we did, it was about the request to hire and the offer approval. So we made an offer to someone against the machine operator. And now we're going to go into this webinar where, okay, now the offer is being locked in. Let's go and onboard them. So this information will flow over to the contract, which is what we want to do. So this is the person that we onboarded. If anybody wants us to just spend 5 minutes about the offer before we move into the contract to sort of make a bit of a more overlap in case we've got a new audience or something, can you please let us know? I'm happy to do that. I'll just give you 10 seconds. Just type in the chat if you're not sure what the offer approval phase is. So this person here, we made them an offer, and that was the details of the offer. So it was $102,000, for example, and et cetera, et cetera. That was the offer that we made them. And from here now, we're going to go into the contract. Anybody wants to talk about the offer, the final offer, or the approval, how you can get the offer approved before you start to go?
We have 4 yeses. Woohoo!
Yes. All right, we'll spend just 5 minutes on that. So to do that, what we'll do, we'll bring a new person completing this job, pretending we've been talking to this person now for a while. So I'll just go link existing. So this could be someone from your talent pool when you initially doing the recruitment, you're linking. This is the feature that we're using. Link to this job. So we will work with test 001. Okay, sounds like something from James Bond movie. Probably the James Bond assistant. All right, test 001 here. We have been, working with them, and we've shortlisted them, etc. We've done phone screening, interviews, collected information, and now we wanted to make them an offer. So we will move into the offer finalization stage. This will pop up. Oh, this job didn't have a requisition. That's fine. What we'll do. Sorry, guys, just give me 1 second. Okay. Cool. So this is the offer approval here, where we finalize the pay data, for example. We finalize what the pay level is. Is everybody familiar with this part? Where this information is coming from when we're talking about the pay level? Okay, so we select this pay level here. This happened to be a band. So there's a minimum and maximum. So I'm typing here the minimum and maximum. The minimum max is between 65 and 75. So I'm going to type, let's say, $70,000.
And while Carla has just asked if this is an additional module that needs to be paid for, yeah, no, Carla, this is included if you have requisition and onboarding with us. We can follow this up afterwards as well, but this isn't included in our onboarding subscription.
100%. So if you've subscribed and paying for the recruitment and the onboarding, as Jasmine said, it is it's available for you, and we're happy to help you to do what we call the upgrade, whereby within the request to hire, we will inject, we show you where first of all to collect all your data pertaining to, I'll go quickly and just show you. The agreements in here is where you would collect all your agreements data, whether it's a award based kind of data. These are all the pay points here. Just going to zoom a little bit there. Or whether it's enterprise agreement, or whether it's a band system, private sort of band system based on competitiveness analysis and stuff like that. So this is an example of a band system where you can see there's a min and max as opposed to just the pay points. So that's the standard salary, 65 to 75, 70 to 90, etc. So you structure it on the basis of an agreement, and then one or more job families, and every job family will have the different pay points or the different bands. So as I said, we can't maybe get stuck too much on this topic, guys. So I'm going to go back to the jobs and that job that we were in. I can find it very quickly from here as well. Machine operator. And go to the candidates, and here's the candidate, the 001 that we're working with. If I go to here, they are in the offer finalization. I can pop it up by clicking on this here to go back to that form. And that's when we are finalizing now the offer. It saved what we did last time. I'm just going to worry about the mandatory information in here. This is all, as you know, customizable. if you haven't used the offer approval before, if you don't know how it works, especially in relation to how it works with the original request to hire, you definitely need to talk to us, guys, and we'll set up a sample for you, a trial, so you can, when I say trial, the chances are you are paying for it, but a trial for you to play with it, to understand it, and then we can work with you how to implement it. We would love to help you to adopt it. It's a really, really powerful piece. I'm going to finalize the start date here. And we're ready to submit this offer approval. It's all customizable, whether you want the ability for whoever's driving this part here to submit to capture this information about the offer without sending it for approval, or you can send it for approval. So in this case, I'm going to send it for approval. There's two people here. We've deemed the way we've customized this, if an approval is needed before that final person has received an offer from us, we can customize who needs to approve it. In this case, two people need to approve it. I'm going to now send it for approval. In my inbox here, I should see an approval request. The approval request will provide all the information needed for the approver to approve this person and the offer for that person. It shows them the original requisition, it shows them the candidate, and it shows them, and there's all the different information about the candidate, and it shows them the offer we want to make to that candidate against that requisition. It's all in one place with that menu there. It's a very, very powerful piece, and all that is included as part of the recruitment and onboarding. So I'm going to approve this. And there should be another approval here pending. Two people had to approve it. Okay, so if I go back here, let's open the record again. Under the offer details here, so I'm just going to pin this menu here in the middle. As you know, that's the menu where resume, cover letter, screening questions, etc. Under packs, this tab is split into two. It shows you any pack that is, had been sent or in progress with this particular candidate. And there's the other part here, the offer details. This shows you it's been approved, the offer, and shows you the final offer details there. So when you've got packs sent, you're always able to compare the information in the pack, the details of the offer from the contract, for example, which is the bottom line, with what was originally approved. So it's all in one place next to each other here under the packs. Nevertheless, we have no packs now, and this is the topic for today. We will be doing exactly that. We're going now to move to the next stage, which is the onboarding. That will pop up all the packs that we have. I'm going to pick the new starter, and I'm going to go there, create a pack based on that template for that person. It's all pretty much ready to go, except for this item here, which is the contract. It tells me in red it requires to be finalized. So if I click on it, there's one field here. You can see everything is there ready to go, except this one field here, which is the content block, and that is the one that I wanted to talk about. This content block is called probation period clause. You can see it's mandatory, and it's got two options. Just call them probation option 1, option 2. You could have given them more meaningful name, to be honest, maybe 2-week notice. Sorry, this is a probation, not the notice period. Could be, 3 months versus 6 months, something like that. And then so when you choose this option here, this is the actual content block. I've just put a bunch of words in here and bullet points to show you that it's actually proper paragraph. It can be whatever it is. And you can see immediately here in the contract, if I zoom a little bit there, it's the wrong zooming. I should have clicked on full screen here. That would have been a lot better. you can see in here the probation period option was there, and we'll show you about the mechanic of all that, how actually that happened. Let me just get that back. Okay. Sorry, the zooming just put it out of work a little bit. I was too eager to zoom on it for you guys to see what happened. So if I change it back to probation period, choose the option 2, immediately changes it in the contract. That is how powerful the content block is. So for example, on the fly as well, I can change this. So remove the bullets. This is test from the webinar on the 18th of May 23. And so just click outside this and it says saved already. It's life-saving. Just have to click outside the text box to save it. And then I'll just click on this to refresh that into the contract. And here it is. Just in case someone can't see it. That's the changes. So that is a very, very powerful tool, and we're going to create one from scratch. We may as well talk about the notice period. So we'll create one together for the purpose of the notice period. Okay, so to do that, and that's going to be part of the what we are doing now, which is how to customize the contract. So the first thing you want to do in this case is to go to the doc template. This is an admin only area. In here it shows you, it allows you to see the actual the Word document that's behind this this template, this contract, and that's the actual file name that you've uploaded. So you might have that file in the latest version of it that is used on the platform sitting on your disk, and you don't need to download it, so you can just open it, or just in case you just download it. It's going to go into a folder of mine here that I've saved, created for the purpose of this. And so I just need to open it from that folder now. This is the one we just downloaded now. I'll just open it. And I'm going to now go into the Word document and find where we talk about the notice period. Is there a notice period? Otherwise, we'll create that paragraph. It's not a proper contract. It's a very small part of a contract. We have nothing about notice period. So what we'll do, let's do that. We'll create a notice period paragraph here.
And while we can't see the Word document on the screen.
Sorry about that. The sharing that I did. I'm going to stop sharing and do the sharing differently. Okay.
While you're doing that, we've got the poll for the time of day.
Let's do it. Just a moment, guys. I've done the sharing, by the way, yeah? So that's the Word document. But just before we go any further, Eddie's just reminded me, Jasmine, we've got a poll that's really, really important about the time and the day for the next series that we will be announcing soon. 6 episodes in that series will be coming soon. And we want to understand whether the current time that we've been doing at 11 AEST or whether 1 p.m. AEST, which would be 11 a.m. WA and 3 p.m. in New Zealand, whether this is the best time. We prefer it. We prefer the 1 p.m. AEST as in Sydney time, Eastern Coast. But we would love feedback from you guys. So if everybody can participate in that poll, I would really appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone.
It takes 5 seconds. Guys, everybody can see the poll. Is anybody having an issue finding it or doesn't work for you or any issues? That's good. Everybody seems to be participating, which is really, really great. Thank you, guys. Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate it. Okay, so I'm going to continue this. I've created here a new paragraph called notice period. I want that to be, I mean, my word skills aren't great. How do we make this same as that? There you go. Okay, so that's going to be notice period. And in here, instead of typing the text, we're going to create the content block and put the tag of the content block in here. So let's do this together from scratch. I'm going to back out of the pack, keep it where it is now in draft, back out of the pack. And under packs, we're going to go to the content manager. And in the content manager here, as you probably know, it's divided into merge documents, static documents, upload, download, forms, that's the e-forms, images, and videos. So if I go back to the merge documents and click on create a new merge document, this is the old way we used to recommend people to do it, although what I'm showing you now is either way is whatever you're comfortable with. What I'm showing you now is just easier to test and easier to understand. Nevertheless, this gives you shows you all the tags. So if you go to requisitions, for example, you can find the form, a particular form that you have, and every field in here is available for you as a tag. You can grab the tag by simply clicking on the copy in here, puts that in the buffer, and you paste it in Word. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go to the onboarding tab. And as you can see, these are the fields that we created specifically for the onboarding, like the probation period that we worked with before. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and create a new one, and we're going to call it notice period. We're going to make it mandatory, keep it as mandatory, that's great. The type is content block, as you can see in here. That's the content block field as the type, as opposed to the other 30 different types that we have. And we're going to add two options. We're going to do 3 months. Hit enter. This allows you to type the content in here. It can be whatever you like it. So we're going to do something here. Your notice period is 3 months. And here are the conditions. I know this doesn't make sense for a notice period. Unlike you guys, I work with contracts, but my brain right now, I'm like a deer in the headlights when I'm doing webinars. I'm not going to be very creative, legally speaking. So I'm just going to focus on in terms of the capabilities. So I'm going to do a bunch of bullet points and another paragraph and then make something bold, just so you know it's quite rich, as you can see all these options there. So it's a whole paragraph, it can be multiple paragraphs for this matter. So bullet points, example, and we're going to do bullet 1, bullet 2, bullet 3, and we're going to make some bullets, and we're going to make this one here bolded and this one here underlined and italic. Cool. So I think that gives you, I don't know what happened there. This gives you a good idea. I'll just save it, and we'll do the 6 months. I'm going to copy this. Now the 6 months option, oops, and there, and this is going to be saying 6 months. Make sure this is highlighted so we can see it when we're testing. We know the right thing selected. Cool. So that's the 6 months and 3 months been created, saved. The field has been created, just a custom field. Click on the copy to grab the tag for it. We open our Word document again and we paste it there. Well, so if I just simply save the document now and upload it, it will be available. But to upload it, I'm going to go and show you how I would do it. It's a lot easier for you. So here's the candidate still open here. And that's the pack that we sent them. So I can just click on it to open the pack, just as a matter of do training as we go. Alternatively, if you don't want to do it from the candidate record, it will be sitting right at the top for you, pretty much there when you go to recent packs. So that's your dashboard for all the packs, whether it's draft or ready to send or completed, all of them there in that order of date and stuff. So I can open it from here. So I'll go back to the contract editing, which is where what we were doing. Go back to that doc template, and I want to upload that version now with the new tag. I'll click on update, upload. You can drag and drop, or you can just, I prefer to click here. It's the one at the top. Let me just delete the old one so we don't get confused. I don't need this one anymore. It's perfect. Okay, so we now save it, upload and hit save, and the changes should be there. What happens, you'll find in a doc editor, we only show you in here on the left-hand side the tags that are part of this particular contract, which is great. So the probation period is already selected for option 2, as you know, because that's saves as you go. So the only thing I need to do is just that last field I've created. If I choose the 6 months, it's going to update the contract straight away, and here you go. So an entire paragraph can be altered, changed, removed completely, etc. As in, you might want to have an option that says, I've got nothing here, it's just white, nothing. So it's really, really powerful. And what's even more powerful is the fact that you can have tags in it. So I'll show you what that means. And that's, if we can, for the purpose of today, if I can in the next 10 minutes, just to make sure you understand how the content block works in relation to creating that and grabbing that tag of it and having it in the contract, believe me, this will be a very successful training session because it's a very, very versatile field. But the thing is, every other field works in the other way. So you're learning the mechanism of how to bring custom fields through from the recruitment process into your contract to pre-populate automatically. And also we're focusing in particular about a versatile type of field, which is the content block. So what we'll do this time.
Sorry, and just quickly, would you be able to show us on the contract there where the notice period is? We can see the probation period, but Belinda and Lisa just saying.
Oh my God! I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. Oh my God! Yeah. Oh, it's interesting. See how it's actually. This is, by the way, notice period. See how it's the formatting is messed up. Let's fix it. So what happens is it's just the word thing. By default, this template, this Word document, it does justify. So all I've got to do is go and make it left justified here. Then, and voila, I'll just save it and upload it again by going to here, update, done, save.
Perfect.
So now we will make sure we go to that section. Here you go, it stays on it. So now it's all fixed up exactly how it is. Make sense, guys?
Wonderful. Thanks, Anwar.
No problems. Maybe what we'll do before we make that, sorry, I'll just go back to the fields. Before we make this content here, see this content here, or the content for this option, which is the 6 months option, or the 3 so far, in this case, both of them, either of them, it's static. I had to just type it. This can be dynamic. Before we go into this, because that's probably the most advanced thing you can learn for as an admin person for the onboarding, let's talk about, for some of you who probably haven't done much admin, let's talk about the basic stuff. Where did the name and last name and address for the person, which you can see here, come from? That's the name and last name, for example. Simple as that. So, and then we'll just spend a few minutes on that, and then we jump into making this dynamic straight away. So if I open a Word document again and go to where that person is, this is the name and last name. So let's remove them and do it together again. So, in your template that the lawyer gives you, you would have in here something like first name, last, maybe one word like that, and they will be highlighted in yellow kind of thing, as you probably agree. That's what most lawyers do. So that's your variables. All right, let's make it 2 words so Word doesn't go crazy on me. Okay, so that's how you would get the contract, yeah? So let's replace that with the proper tags. It's really the same as as what we did before from the tag point of view, except you don't need to do with anything with these. These are already system fields that we're aware of them. You just have to grab them and put them there. So it's very simple. Let's start with the first name. Remove this, and we'll make sure it's ready to insert the tag in here. That's where the cursor is. So we go back to the admin stuff, the doc template, and this is here a drop down. I know it doesn't look like a drop down, it looks like a text box, but you can see the arrow there, it's a drop down. So these are the categories at the top, yeah? The current category is the most used. We just put a bunch of things in here that we know everybody's going to need for their contract. However, you can change that and go into any area in the platform where that data is collected and grab the fields from there. Includes requisition, that all your forms are there. You can grab the field from that form. Application forms, that will include, by the way, the first name. So I can go into any of that of the application forms, and here's the first name and last name. I get from here. Or, as I said, they happen to be very, very frequently used, so we have them under the most used category. I can get them from here. But nevertheless, from the training point of view, even these are your e-forms. Even on the application forms, you might have your own custom fields. As you can see, how many years of experience do you have, or blah, blah, blah. I can have the answer from that coming up, driving license, etc. I know this is not appropriate for a contract, but I'm just emphasizing the point. It has no limit. Any custom field, whether it's the system field, such as the name and last name, that's just a platform-wide field, or whether it's the your own custom fields that you might have created at any phase during the recruitment process, from the requisition to within the recruitment or the offer approval form. Any of those fields can be pulled into the contract and to flow into the contract automatically.
So powerful. Emma, we do have two questions here. So firstly, Lauren would like to see how you access the doc template. We might have missed that the first time. So would you be able to show Lauren that again?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just while I'm open this, let me just grab the first name, and then we'll do exactly that. So the fact that we were just sitting there before I forget what we were doing. So we've literally clicked, guys, on this. That's all I had to do. Click on it. It puts that in the buffer. I went to there and did Command V. I'm using Mac, or you do Control V, or you do right click and do paste. Just paste it, whatever it is. So that's it. That's the tag. So if I do save and update, upload, save, you'll see now the first name is pre-populated properly, and this is still exactly the variable that the lawyer had given you. Hasn't been done, which we will do in a minute. So let's see if we can address that question. How did I get the contract? In this case, it was uploaded already in the content manager. So in the content manager here, it's broken into those categories on the left-hand side. The first category is merge document. That's really where contract, job offer, it really, whatever it is, any document that you need it to be part of a pack, and that document needs to be dynamically generated, we call that merge document. So it can be anything, different people in different industries use it in different ways. And so the employment contract is one of those clearly key reasons why we've built this. And so how you do it, you just click on this and then upload your document. And then when you upload it, it puts the name of the file in here, and you can change that to whatever you want to do. Maybe I want to remove this. I want to put in here webinar 18th of May. And in here, there's two questions. Does it require digital signature? Yes, it requires. Does it require internal approval? Yes, it does. And that means the platform, when you're sending the pack, it's going to stop you. It's going to enforce the fact that someone internally on behalf of the business needs to sign it, needs to go to them, and they need to sign it before you can send it through. That's what we opted to do. You don't have to. So here's the contract the item that we just did. So that name that I typed that I've edited is the name of the item in the content manager. It's a merged document. The file behind it can be a different name, but that's what the item name is. So now this item can be used in any pack template you like. I can create now a new template. I'm going to call it not pack template. I'm sorry, brand new. Is brand new one word or two words? No, one word. Brand new pack template. For permanent full-time head office. Okay. And webinar May 18th. Okay, created. It's going to be empty, and I can drag now whatever items from the content manager. If you remember, we looked at the content manager. So all I have to do is click on this button or this button, and it's going to show me all the capabilities of the content manager, all the categories. I can just grab this video and this video and this video, and I can go back to the merge documents and grab my contract, of course, there. And I want to put my contract right at the top. I can just grab it to the top. Oops, sorry. So I've got the contract at the top, got a bunch of videos. I can go back to the content manager and maybe grab some of the forms, the tax form and the super choice form, Australian TFN, Australian super, and employee details, and my own custom form that I've built called the Coffee Club. And so that's the 3 e-forms now in there. I've got 2 videos, 3 e-forms, and it's rocking and rolling. So that's the pack now that we created. Does that answer the point? So, but just to answer it even further, what we'll do, we will go, now that we create the pack from scratch, which is a really good idea that we did that. What we'll do, we'll go into, just give me 1 second, guys. Want to find a job that had already a requisition approved. Just to make it easier for us for the first test call. So we'll work with this job. So we're going to go into the teacher, and we're going to link a candidate into it, and we're going to use the pack that we created together. That's really cool. So it all comes together a lot. It'll connect the dots with you for you guys better. So I'm going to go into this candidate, and we're going to make them an offer against that job, against the approval of the job. We're going to finalize quickly the final level. It happened to be based on an award thing. We go, it's level 3, so it's $29 is the final hourly rate, and we're going to save it. And we're going to do this, but for the purpose of this, we're not going to send it for approval. We're going to submit the, capture that final offer without having it sent for approval, because we covered that before, so we can keep moving and get back to the contract thing quickly. So you can see now we've got now a record of what was approved as an offer, and who approved it, who submitted it, etc. So now when we move to onboarding, if we just keep and remember, it's $29 for the final rate. If we go to onboarding now, we're going to choose that pack that we just created. It's right there. Yeah. And that will be the contract that we're using the same contract, to be honest, I've used the same contract, but nevertheless, the question was, how do you create even the contract as an item in the content manager in the platform based on that Word document? So that's it. So if I go to editing now, it's going to be the same fields, the same things, really. You can see that the first name came through, but the last name is still sitting there as per the lawyer's instructions that a variable needs to be changed. So let's go ahead and do that. So now we're covering the whole thing from scratch, which is good. So imagine we're doing this from scratch. We're going to, not upload, we want to download it. We're going to download it to get the latest version if we don't have it. Did it download it? Okay, I'm going to call this version 2.
And just before we jump into that second version, we have a couple of questions.
Yes.
So Belinda's asked if we have a cheat sheet or instructions available as a step-by-step. And I believe we do under the help guides in the platform. Would you be able to show Belinda and Simone where those guides are kept?
For the purpose of what we've been doing?
Yes.
So I don't think we will definitely can send you the recording from this webinar if that's helpful, and we can cover, if you have one particular point on your mind right now, we will cover it right now, and this is recorded, as you know. We will send that to everyone at the end of the session, and we might have another recording from past as well. We don't have really help pages to read and stuff at the moment. I don't believe so.
Oh, okay. We'll follow this up after the session as well,
Sure,
with Simone and
sure.
Belinda.
And you're more than welcome. Sorry, if you guys, if you're, that's what you need to do now. You feel that you want to work on your contracts and stuff. You want to maybe fine tune them or create a new contract. Get in touch. We'll do an hour with you session. I'll get someone to do a full hour session with you and just give you that exact knowledge where we will make sure you are driving, you're doing everything, and we guide you through it, so you will never forget how to do it.
Awesome. And while you have that second version open, Paul had a question. He'd like to see if you can add a page break into the contract to ensure the formatting is accurate, whether
Yeah,
that would sit in the Word doc.
a page break in the contract. Okay. Do you, because it's you can do that in Word. I'm sure that's not the question you're asking. That forgive me to almost insult your intelligence, but what do you mean within the content block? I'm not sure if I get the question, because this is Word. You can do anything you like. You can do whatever break. So I must be missing something.
Yeah, so Paul, I believe that would be, you can add that page break in Word, but I don't think we have a separate feature in the document editor to add a page break. But as you,
No, but do you? But I want to understand the what's the scenario? I think we have something like that, but I just want to understand the scenario before I can just start to talk about it. We've got in here.
Paul just said it's in the case the content block can sometimes push the information to another page. Oh, sorry.
Okay,
In case the content
I
block
see what
pushes
you
the
mean.
information, yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean now. I see what you mean. If you get in touch with us, we will talk to you about. But look, this is a very very good question. Okay, it comes up all the time. So let me just shed some light on that. So I guess what the question is, this content block here. Uh, as a matter of fact, see, it happened to be in a pretty good spot to highlight the question. So I definitely acknowledge the question. Imagine this is 3, 4, 5, 10 lines. So clearly, what's going to happen is there's only probably room for about 3, 4 lines here before it spills to the next page. And I guess the question was, can I have something in here maybe, or within the content block or something along this line, to ensure if it doesn't fit on this page, I want that whole thing, the bullet point 9 notice period, the whole thing, in other words, something to the equivalent of that, to start on the next page. Can I just confirm that is the question?
Yeah, perfect. That's the one. That's exactly what
Okay.
Paul's asking.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I know it's really a tough one. It's really a tough one. If there is any logical way of how we can do this, the tech is not really the issue. But at the same time, we do have some limitations because we can only work with what Word allows us to do. We're working within that framework of the Word document and the Word formatting, framework. In saying that, though, I personally, someone who's been involved in the legal world, just like all of you guys, I'm not, any smarter than any of you, but from my own experiences, I don't care. Let it float to the next page. I really don't care too much, unless sometimes it's very, very obvious, and then you can just do it manually and put a line break in the Word document. But I personally don't care. So, for example, in here, if there's only 2 lines and then there's 8 more lines to finish the notice period on the next page, I don't care. Even if there's 1 line in here and the rest all on the next page. I personally really don't think it's a big deal. But certainly, I know what you mean. Sometimes there are obvious stuff, but the chances are you can do all that in Word. But certainly, you cannot 100%. But what I mean is, I don't think you need to. You can't 100% ensure. Look, if there's only one, the majority of this paragraph is going to be on the next page. Can I bring this whole thing to the next page? We don't have a mechanism to make that happen because Word doesn't allow us to do that. It's an interesting point, though, and it's clearly personal preferences and company preferences as well, which is I fully respect.
Awesome. Thanks, Anwar. Now, lastly, Annalise had a question. So when she's, utilizing the content block, sometimes the content, so the text doesn't align with the rest of the text. Is there something that we can, that the team's currently working on?
Yep.
Yes, are you aware of that? With the
No. I'm not. I think. Sorry, I am, but I don't believe there's any limitation. I think you can really make it work. And let me confirm. You're referring to the styling, for example, the choice of font and the font size and color and stuff. Can I confirm that's what you mean? Let's call that styling.
With the numbering in particular, within the content block. So example,
Okay.
with 3.1 or 3.2, sometimes it doesn't align with the rest of the contract when it's going in.
Yeah, that's a very tricky one. So, for example, this is a 0.3 in here. If and you want to make these to become 3.1, which we can. You can do. What we do is we do HTML. We'll show you how to do it as well to go forward. But so we create an HTML table within the content block because, as you know, it's got a HTML capability, and part of our code would translate it to PDF and all that stuff when we build the contract. So we can do it, but I can perceive. So I acknowledge your point. There's some things we won't be able to do to honor the numbering. So what we recommend is to bring that piece, the dynamic piece, maybe to be the last bullet point. For example, if you've got 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, and 5.2 is dynamic. Sometimes it needs to be there, sometimes nothing needs to disappear. Well, that means you want to change the numbering after it. At the moment, we don't have a mechanism to do it. I think technically speaking, it's possible. We haven't done it, but I think there's always a workaround. For example, you can move that bullet point to be the last one. So if it disappears, it doesn't matter. So you've got 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, and make 5.3 the dynamic one. And if it needs to go, that means there's no 5.3. It doesn't change anything. There's always a way to help you with that. Let's jump on a call with you one-on-one and see what we can do there. But I do acknowledge your point. There could be, if your preferences are very strict and you don't want to move on certain things, you might find there are some limitations. But there's always in a legal framework of a document. I mean, I can even, what we do in our contract, I keep the variables at the very end of the page under sort of appendix or whatever it's called, two of those at the end, 2 pages, and that's where all the dynamic stuff goes, such as salary and blah blah blah, and I refer to them in the document. So your salary will be as per the salary thing, the exact name of that item in appendix 4 or whatever it is at the end. Same with start date, etc. All these variables, I put them right at the end, and I can control them better and stuff. There's always a way to go around it. But if I can see if you're not flexible as a company on certain things, why you would come across some limitations. But I really would be surprised. I mean, we've been doing this for about 6-7 years now. We've always been able to find a workaround. But I do acknowledge your point 100% about there could be some limitations there in some cases.
Awesome. Thanks, Anwar. So Annalise and Carly will follow up after the session. We can book a session as well if you'd like to look into that further. We've just had a pop-up as well for the next webinar to register. Our next webinar will be on onboarding packs and automations. If you'd like to click through and register for that next webinar.
So should I then just do a couple more fields in here, and so I'll do the last name just to make sure we connect the dots, and for someone who hasn't picked up the whole concept yet. And I'm going to, in the tags in here, grab I can get them from a number of places. Even the most used has got the last name there. Copy, go to the Word document, Control, Command V in my case. There's a yellow stuff in here, so let me just remove all that yellow business. So I'll go no color and make sure it's left justified just in case anything got messed up. It is left justified. Good. So I'm ready to go, save it, come back here, update, and upload the file, which is version 2. Save it. That's it. No, it is not. That's it. Open. I think it's the other document. So I'll do it, and I'll remove it in a sec. I'll delete the old one and open a new one. Cool. So that's the one here. So this is the one that we were using. I don't want to use it anymore. And I want to open this one in Word. Cool. So you'll find here, see it doesn't have the tag sorted yet. Sorry, I was just got myself confused. So I'll paste it again, remove all the yellow business, and save it and update. Cool, here it is. So that's how simple it is to get any of your custom fields or system fields into the contract. What else we wanted to do? The last thing we wanted to do is maybe while we're at it, just to touch on the data such as the pay data. So where do we have a section here about the pay? There's a salary in here or something, but this happened to be, I think, was a casual role, so it's a rate. So that's fine. What I'll do, just for the purpose of this, I'll just put somewhere here where the pay is. Hours of work remuneration. I'll just say, oh, it is, your hourly rate is, oh, we already have it. Okay, let me see. So in here, it should be bringing up the rate already, which is $29 an hour, I believe. Do you remember, guys?
Number 6.
6. Okay, 6. Yeah, here you go, $29.40. It's already there. So what we'll do, we'll remove it and do it together though. So I'm going to remove this tag here. It says your hourly rate is, I know that's not an exact thing of how you do it. I'm just we're talking about the technical aspect of it. It's not per annum, per hour. And so we just need to paste that tag in here. Cool. So we, in the tags, we choose, for example, the requisition form. That's the form where the engagement field was. That's, if you remember from the last webinar, guys, we didn't touch on that too much. And that shows me all the different parts of the engagement field. In this case, I want the final rate in either 2 decimal or 4 decimal. I'll get 4 decimal for this purpose. And I'll open the Word document again and just Command V. And save it and upload it. Simple as that. Update, upload, choose it, save. So that will put it back as the $29 per hour. And it's 4 decimal places, $29.40. Does it make sense, guys? So just to confirm for those who are new to this, what we just did, that $29.40 came from, I can't remember the exact, we can find out clearly from the offer we made, but it comes from here. So this is where, when you enter the rates in here, the hourly rate, that's where it comes from. So this is that single source of truth about your award systems or enterprise agreements and banding system, etc., whatever you guys use. They are created and maintained from this one page from here, and it's pulled through the entire recruitment process. So the managers, when they select a position, that's what they see, that, oh, this position is linked to this agreement, and it allows you to choose between level 1 to level 5, or maybe level 1 to level 3. You do that. So in the positions, you go into a position such as this, and you link it under here with the right award, with the right job family, and you choose the one or more levels that you believe this position can be linked into, or you hire people from either of those levels when you're hiring people in this position. My God, I've stuffed this one up completely. But you know what I mean, guys. So this is the curating work that the HR team does, is they create the engagement data, they capture all the engagement data here, the awards, etc., and they curate all the positions, the unique positions in the business, and they link each position with which award or enterprise agreement, etc. It needs to be where the pay is relevant to it, and that's it. All that then will flow from the request to hire all the way to the contract. You will never have to touch that number again, type or copy, paste or anything. Does that make sense? That's really what we wanted to achieve. It closes the loop on the last few sessions that we did in the series. We started, if if you recall, 3-4 weeks ago, 3 sessions ago, so maybe 5-6 weeks ago, we started showing you how to create your agreements. And then we talked about how you create the request to hire form to stream these agreement data into it, to create that visibility amongst the hiring managers, the HR team, and the execs who are approving the hiring. And then the offer, where you finalize which pay level or which band, the final, salary rate, etc. If it's award based, you finalize which level, and then the pay from that level will flow into the contract automatically, which is what we just did. So that closes the loop on that series. So just at high level, the architecture of all that. Does anybody have any question about how all these parts work together? The agreements, the position, the request to hire form, and the approval form, which is the same, and then the contract and the tags. Does anybody have any questions about that? And as I said, if you're, we providing this as a free upgrade. If you're buying recruitment and onboarding, we're allowing you to use the agreements at no extra cost. We've spent millions of dollars in the last 3.5 years into this. It's been a major, major overhaul, because our clients, almost every single enterprise client that we have, had been capturing that data somehow. And it's been, mostly working. And I'll take my hat off to every one of you who had made that work within the tools that we gave you at the time, with the smart custom fields and smart drop downs, and the device of what we call relationship, where you can create relationships between 2 fields. You choose this option from that drop down. Only those options are available now. So that's how some of you built that sort of relationship between the positions and awards and stuff. It's fantastic, and it's been working okay for the last 6 years, but we really wanted to make this more reliable and more easy to work with. So instead of having to maintain 20, literally on average 20 different custom fields, drop downs, and whatever else to capture that information, now you just drop one single field, and you've got this beautiful page in here to really be clear about how you capture all your awards and stuff. We built even things in here. For example, you can say, under this job family, I want to increase it now by 2% or by 5%. Put the percentage, and it's going to increase all the rates in here. We will be doing import tools into it very, very soon. So this is a different world to just a bunch of custom fields, and no one will know where to go and which custom fields and stuff. This is really another level. And then the ability to go to curate your positions and link a position into those rates and those bands. That's the second part as well. There's a lot of work that was done there. And then from there, to be able to bring and streamline all that work into the entire flow of request to hire, recruitment, and offer, and finally into the contract. So 3.5-year journey. We're offering this for free, and we're happy to work with you to upgrade it. But if you haven't done it, and if you don't do it in, say, 3 months' time, you might find it becomes borderline with delays, because a lot of amazing features will be coming up soon, such as an employee dashboard, a new employee page that will be drawing on that. We will not cater for the old stuff anymore. So unless you're using the new agreements, the new engagement field to say, look, this is an employee as opposed to a volunteer, as opposed to an external contractor, and it's an employee, but it's a permanent full-time or a casual. Only that data is going to flow into the dashboard. We will not cater for the old drop downs that you were using to say, this is a permanent full-time, this is the rate, etc. So we really need you to, for those 50 clients or so that still haven't upgraded, it is for free, and we're here to support you. We will put whatever resources we need to make it happen, but we really need you to make it happen. Otherwise, you start to miss out on some features, and they will be, free and just improvements, but they will be only based on you adopting this stuff.
Awesome. It's a really great foundation. I'm really excited to see where it goes. Does anyone else have any questions before we finish up? We've also just had a pop-up for the full webinar training series, which will take you through to YouTube. So you can view all of the 2023 webinars today.
So this from today will be on YouTube as well soon, Eddie?
Within 24 hours.
Okay, within 24 hours, that same YouTube channel. So perhaps, if I can respectfully say, whether we send the email or not, you don't need us to do that. Just check, say tomorrow around this time, and this should be, the latest video uploaded there. So just we just add it to that YouTube channel, which is good.
Amazing.
Okay, I hope you've enjoyed it today. If we don't have any more questions, by any means, you can reach out after this to us, to even myself. You're absolutely welcome to reach out to me directly if you have any questions, in particular about the upgrade and the timing and how we can allocate resources to help you to make it happen. And we will be very flexible as well. We just need you to say, look, for that week in June, towards the end of June, the third week of June, perhaps, or something, or July, that is the best time for me. I'm going to allocate someone from my team or myself to work with you guys to make that happen. And that is it. So we will put that in our calendars. We'll jump on that week from that first day in that week, and we do an hour or two session, and then we go, you do this and we do that. And then by the end of the week, all your workflow has been now transformed to include that engagement field, which will draw the data from the agreement starter, and we will swap the tags in your contracts to use the new field, and that's it. We'll work with you to make that happen by the end of the week. That's really all it takes. So please get in touch, and we'll explain all this, how it works, and we will set up that 1 week that works for you, and we'll allocate the proper resource for you. We've got 8 people that can do this, including the implementation team, Lewis and Ryan and Donald, and the support guys, Chris, Ben, and Ashton.
All hands on deck. We have the full dream team.
Okay.
Wonderful.
How did we go with the last question? Is that the last poll about the likely recommending what you saw today, the feature perhaps?
Yeah. Before you jump off, team, if you could rate on a scale of 1 to 5 how likely you are to recommend the auto-generated employment contracts to a friend or colleague, that would be wonderful.
Or the
Everyone.
onboarding in general, including this particular feature, which is at the heart of the onboarding. Yeah,
absolutely.
You're right, Jeff. Yeah. So we would appreciate it if you can. This is clearly a poll. We don't know who said what, guys. So please, say it as it is. Choose whatever option reflects your sentiment. We just want to hear it as it is, please. We only see numbers, how many said this and how many said that. That's really all we see from it. It's a proper poll software. We would appreciate it if everybody can take 2 minutes to just answer this poll. That would be really appreciated.
Thanks, everyone.
Awesome.